GPU prices might return to normal this year, according to a new report, but sadly, we won't be getting Nick Cage as Tiger King. LG has decided that they're going to sell their rollable OLED display, but the price might just be better not said. And RTX 30 Super Desktop Series. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your host, Brett. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can get my hands on this side of the internet, and we're going to be starting off talking about something that I know everybody is desperately waiting for. We've been talking about GPU pricing a lot lately because there's new metrics, new benchmarks, different companies and countries reporting different things, especially with last week us reporting that GPUs were selling below MSRP. That was happening in China due to the flood of the crypto market being shut down and GPUs having to be sold off en masse. We're also seeing prices decline in countries like Germany, Austria, and the UK. A lot of countries are reporting a decline in price. Is it close to MSRP? No, but that's where this new report from Tom's Hardware comes out, where it says graphics cards reportedly set to get cheaper this quarter, which I know doesn't sound like getting back to regular pricing until we read onwards, where they say sources in the supply chain believe that prices of graphics cards will return to normal levels in the second half of this year, so in the coming months. Fun fact, we are in the second half of this year. July kind of kick-started the second half. Anyway, so if we're looking at a Q4 return to normal, that would mean that prices are only a few months away from being at regular levels. With them also saying that normally unit sales of graphics cards improve in the third quarter compared to the second quarter, so prices will likely decrease in general. But if we stop there, it's only good news, all right? GPU pricing returning to normal by the end of this year. Everything's fine. China's cracking down more. More and more of their provinces are having their mining operations shut down. Ethereum is going down in price. Profitability of mining seems to be decreasing to some extent. So if we just close our eyes, GPU prices return to normal by the end of the year. But if we read onwards, they continue to say that some people in the supply chain believe that the cryptocurrency mining craze will return, along with the abnormally high prices of graphics cards. Meanwhile, as companies like AMD and Nvidia improve supply of their GPUs, we can at least expect price hikes to be moderate, even if mining frenzy returns. So it's not necessarily all good news. I think a lot of this is predicated on which way the crypto market is going to go. If it's going to continue its downward slide, then we might see that cards actually continue to return to normal. And if we do indeed see the return of the mining craze, then prices could again jack up. But a lot of people are hopeful. Some people are skeptical. I mean, we were talking in our Hot News live stream yesterday, which you should come join us, twitch.tv/UFDisciple. And people were talking about how Bitcoin's going to hit 100K by September, which is what people always say. Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000. Just you wait. Just you wait. But I can tell you that this next article is probably in the camp of people who thinks that the mining stuff maybe is going to stick around for a little while, because Vietnamese retailers have been found selling the limited edition Asus Gundam RTX 30 series cards in mining rig kits. So normally these cards are supposed to be limited edition, being sold for people who would actually want a Gundam edition card, but because they're non-LHR edition, light hash rate, and they're effective at mining, the Vietnamese retailers found a way to make more profit by bundling them together in a mining rig and selling them that way instead of individually to gamers who might actually appreciate the aesthetic. So those cards are typically selling for around $2,300. The street price of the 8 cards in the mining rig is around $18,000, which means that they're getting a little bit extra profit and they get to move more cards in higher quantities. So it's 6 on one, half dozen on the other. Which miner side of things are you taking? Let me know down in the comments what you think GPU pricing is going to do. But there's their stack of glory. Look at all those GPUs just propped up like your hopes and dreams, and don't you worry, Kool-Aid Man's gonna come bursting through that door and just destroy everything, just like he did to my parents. Oh yeah! Let's get on talking about TSMC and how they're exploring on-chip semiconductor integrated water cooling. They did this at their symposium, where they discussed how as they continue to make process technology just more and more compact, you put more transistors together, the real issue starts to begin getting to heat. And so they've done tons of testing to see if they can water cool the chip inside of the actual chip. Usually you do it on top of the integrated heat spreader, but they're thinking like, no, seriously, in the dies, water in the freaking chip. So you shake it and you can hear liquid, probably not that. It's going to be like very small volumes of water that's actually in there, but it does effectively dissipate the heat. In some of their testing, they were finding that it could dissipate 2.3 to 2.6 kilowatts of energy. So don't you worry, TSMC is on the game. They're going to water cool your chips before you can, so stay tuned. And now it's time to tune in to the Cryptostonks update. Bitcoin up 0.73% in the last 24 hours. You can see that it had a little nap yesterday night where it was down below 32,000. Right now it's 32.8. Ethereum also up roughly 3%, still not back above $2,000, but crossed back over that earlier today, sitting at 1990 right now. Dogecoin down 1.25%, sitting at 19.6 US cents. GameStop also having a free fall of a day, down 7% to 167.62. AMC also getting absolutely crushed, down 15% on the day to close at 33.43, which is just, it's a steep fall from where they once were, although it's kind of half. It's like it's a 50% fall total. But I can tell you that what fell was my heart. It sank completely when I read this next article because I was hotly anticipating Nicolas Cage, Sir Nicolas Cage. I don't know if he's knighted. It doesn't matter. Sir Nicolas Cage playing Joe Exotic in a drama about the Tiger King, and it's not happening anymore. Amazon's pulling the plug because they say that it's now past tense and it's no longer in the like cultural milieu and people have forgotten about it. I would not forget about that. I would watch the crap out of Nick Cage playing a different crazy person. Like that's just this. How could you not come out with this? It's written in gold. I don't care if it came out 2 years from now. People would be like, oh, you remember Quarantine with Tiger King? We got to go watch this Nick Cage thing. It reminds us of it. You're not past it. But what is past tense is Facebook's satellite team. They've been acquired by Amazon to be part of the Amazon Internet team, part of Project Kuiper, which is supposed to bring satellite internet to the entire world, very similar to how SpaceX is doing Starlink. Facebook shutting down their satellite stuff, focusing more on terrestrial-based internet, and now it's going to be transferred over to Amazon. Facebook also now trying to transfer creators over to their platform by offering up $1 billion in total payouts to have influencers and creators come over to their platforms of both Facebook and Instagram, with the aim to be rewarding creators for great content they create on Facebook and the other platforms, which I don't know. Listen, do you want hot news on Facebook? Would you watch it on Facebook? Obviously, I'm asking my YouTube audience, but this, like, is this a thing that people actually go to Facebook to watch stuff, or as it's just in my general perception, which may be wrong, right? This is my general bias here, is that Facebook is for boomers and maybe Gen X, and then millennials and downward are not on Facebook as far as like content consumption. Maybe I'm incorrect. I want to hear from you down below in the comments. Let me know. Facebook, hot news, yes, no. Would you watch it? Well, would you watch your kids spend your money? Some people do. That was not a good segue at all. Xbox is now bringing out a family app control that allows you to set spending limits so that your children don't go ahead and buy all of the FIFA skins and then you can't pay your mortgage the next month, because it used to be that your kids could do that, but now there's no limits that are in. We could have a conversation of parental responsibility later. Microsoft saying that this isn't about limiting your children, this is about incentivizing them. Every single time that Jimmy does a chore, you just add a little 50 cents into his Microsoft account. There you go, Jimmy. Why don't you go get yourself one of them, one of them Marios. Go play one of them Sonics the Hedgehogs. Oh, you didn't crap the bed last night, Jimmy? Here's $2. I'm so glad I didn't have to clean your sheets today. Microsoft not having to clean the sheets of your computer because they're now going to be rolling out Windows in the cloud with Windows 365, not to be confused with Microsoft 365, not to be confused with Office 365. Windows 365 is just Microsoft giving you a remote desktop, essentially, that's based in the cloud. It actually is a pretty neat idea. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to using this. However, at the moment, they're only rolling it out to businesses. It's launching on August 2nd with a per user monthly subscription amount. Pricing not necessarily being disclosed at the moment, but it can go anywhere from a single core CPU, 2 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, all the way up to an 8-core CPU, 32 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage, so that you could do stuff on the go. You could log in on your phone, on your iPad, on any single place that you might need to log into this, and then you just have full access to the power of whatever it is that you need to do and resume from where you are, with Microsoft wanting to have instantaneous on action. It makes a little bit of sense. What doesn't make sense is them bringing back Clippy. Just let him stay dead, that demon beast of hellfire. They made a little tweet saying that if they could get 20,000 likes, they'll bring back the paperclip emoji in Microsoft 365 with Clippy, and just it got It's just 78,000 likes. So it's coming back, which is just... Why would you want Satan's pancreas all over your Microsofts, okay? Just stop it. Twitter also stopping fleets. Those are gone. Do you remember what those were? No, because they were fleeting. Ha ha ha. I made the same joke that everybody else did. I'm funny. Anyways, it was the stories that Twitter rolled out and then nobody used it. So they're getting rid of it. And it's going to be gone sometime soon, August 3rd. They're gone. What's not gone is LG's Rollable OLED TV, which people thought they were never going to sell in the US. Well, now it is coming to the US for $100,000. Pre-orders opening in August. This beauty just rolls up out of nowhere. It's huge. It's got 120 hertz 4K gaming, VRR, auto low latency mode, Dolby Vision, and 4 HDMI 2.1 port. It's crazy, but don't spend your money on it, my friends. But you might want to spend your money on the RTX 30 Super Series, because according to some reports, that might be coming out at some point in the near future. Previously in Hot News, we talked about how the 30 Super Series was supposed to be for laptops, but then a well-known leaker responded to Video Card's article by saying it's not only for laptops, and then when asked for clarification, it does seem like we might get a 3080 Super, 3070 Super at some point in the future, potentially early next year. I hope they don't release it this year. We just got the TIs. It would be really redundant for them to do a Super Series as of right now. But if Nvidia is going to do it, maybe there might be some sense into doing it. We'll find out when it happens. Why don't you go find out about yesterday's news? There was a benchmark from Intel's upcoming 12900K that just slaps the crap out of AMD's 5950X in one benchmark. It's really not indicative. Just go watch. Hot news off.